Hello, hello, hello. I pray this finds you at the precise time you need it. Getting into 999 portal messages today. Although this will have messages for you, even if you find this outside of this particular date, which is September 9th, 2025. So it's really encompassing the energy of 999. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Ari. Hi, Mary. Oh, that's cute. As you know, Lisa, hello. I always start my live streams with a little bit of energy work. So I'm going to first offer this sage to Gaia, to the creator, and to all of our guides, angels, and ancestors. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. Okay, I wasn't going to come out tonight, but there were many signs. Cynthia, hello. So, what crystal do you want me to start with today, Spirit? Oh, that would be it. I got this beautiful crystal wand when I was traveling, and this was exactly the kind of thing that I was looking for. You guys might remember me talking about feeling I wanted something to hold and ground myself with as I'm bringing energy through. It's beautiful. Beautiful wand. Oh, you were expecting me, Ari? You knew before I did then. So, we'll be getting into the 999 portal. You'll see me again on the 11th, which I wanna say is Thursday, right? I don't know if that's gonna be a live or a pre-record, but I do have a lot to say about that portal particularly as well, right? I love it. So, if you're open to receiving this energy activation, it's gonna be brief. We're gonna tap in with 999, okay? 999 if you're open to receiving. And again, it's important that you tune in or say yes or validate this at some level because it's really important that energy work is always consented to. Sean, hello. Lawrence, hello. We're tuning in with 999. Welcome in, Mary Penny. Yep. I'm carving some new codes for all of you in your third eye. Thank you for the confirmation, Lisa. Maybe carving's not the right word. Painting. I tease. There we go. Moving that out of your third eye. That feels better. Sherry, hello. Where else do you need me, Spirit? Okay. Thanks, Sean. Okay. Spirit's like, now you're open to receiving this message. Laura Lala, hello. Just a little bit more energy work and then we'll be finished. Tuning in again with 999 if you are open to receive. $999 if you're open to receiving this energy activation. No, I'm not your average witch. Chosen Big Dog Tarot, welcome in. Ooh. There we go. You should be feeling a little bit more open, a little bit lighter, a bit more stabilized in these energies. All right. We're going to get into the message. So, I want to preface that this is as much about angel number 999, this entire message, as it is about the energies of this particular portal. So, whenever you find this video, always take what resonates with you and leave the rest for everyone else. So, 999. Typically, September 9th occurs on a 9-9 portal where the year changes numerologically. This year specifically has been a 9 year. You might remember me mentioning in other videos how we've had all planets in retrograde. So, at least all planets in retrograde at least once this year. So, a very, very powerful time astrologically, as Spirit's saying, planetarily, so globally, as well as individually in your own consciousness. So it would seem that certain things came to life in this year that you might not have expected. It's also that things you thought you might never have walked away from have been removed. 9-9 in and of itself adds to the number 18 numerologically, which you might take a little bit of inspiration for that angel number with the moon card in the tarot. You have the 1 and the 8. And that breaks down to, again, a 9. So 3 nines and just the angel number 9-9. So when you add a third 9, so you have 9-9, well, in the other case of 9-9-9, bear with me, lots of nines. In the third case, or it's not really the third case, in the other case of 999, angel number 999, you have 9 plus 9 plus 9 all adds to 2 and 7, but you still can include the 18 from 99 in there. So I'm going to break down each of these numbers and then we're going to hodgepodge them together. So 9 in and of itself is completion. It is closure. It is the end of the end of the end of the end of the end. It is you set a boundary, everything in your life ripples to reflect that boundary. It is the true authentic giant verification check next to the lessons that you've completed. Whether that means you're moving jobs, you're leaving a relationship or partnership, you're moving homes, something about the way you see yourself is shifting. Whatever it is that karmically you've been asked to work on is what has been completely wrapped in a pretty little bow to say, ah, yes, we were able to extract the lesson from the experience right as the light goes out here, right as the candle goes out. So let me grab another one. I like to draw on the flame while I am channeling. It just brings me a little sense of comfort, having like 6 counts of fire in my chart and whatnot. So, coming back first to the 9-9 with the 18 energy. So we were talking about how 9 really represents the sense of closure and completion, but ultimately that sense of the victory in the finality. Sometimes you go through a sense of closure and it doesn't really feel like it's done. It's like a a, a end of the leg in the race, right? But not completing the marathon. Okay, this is about you've mastered every single leg of the race and now you're at the finish line. You can see where each moment there is a victory, but it's not quite the completion. So the 1 is all about your independence, about its inspiration, its new beginnings, its leadership, it's trusting your own instincts. And the 8 is all about the oneness of all that is, the interconnectedness and ultimate balance between body, mind, and spirit. You might think that's a little bit of the 3, and that does play into that harmony energy, but if you think about the 3, I think it's yep, that looks like a 3 on your end almost. I was drawing backwards. That's half of the number 8, right? This is the true realization of as above, so below. And this is kind of playing on the messages that were coming through yesterday about you being able to understand yourself contextually from the outside in. But now, where you're completing lessons around creating your conscious from inwards out, that is bringing a whole new dimension to the way you perceive yourself, your reality, and how you navigate the interplay. I know some of you might have to go back and watch this again, and maybe a couple times to really let it sink in, okay? So that's the 1 and the 8. When you put 1 and 8 together, you get a you get the sense of knowing where you're starting is going to end the way you want it to. You just can't see the path yet. So it's about trust. But in the angel number 9-9, you've completed lessons, nines, around what? Trusting in the way things play out that are beyond your control, but still aligned with your desires. And the numbers here, we have 19 of you here with 8 likes. I'd like to see a few more likes. If you're sticking around, I hope you like what I'm saying. But that also adds to a 9 and a 9, case in point. This is also about a deeper sense of interconnectedness when you consider that the 9-9 is also coupled in angel number 999. We add numbers 2 and 7 here and 27. So what does that mean? 2 is about choice, it's about balance, duality, partnership, darkness, and the lack of trust. The 2 is about patience or where you lack patience. It's no one thing without its equal and opposite. It's this understanding of the appearance of separation or duality, yet the simultaneous knowing of how everything is interconnected. Because you cannot have 2 if you do not have 1, or 2 ones, if you wanna look at it like that. So, as we're moving up to the 7, well, I should say also they're wanting me to reiterate that the 2 is also about balancing duality, harmonizing contrast. That's the lesson learned. Each number, when you get to the next in line, is about what you take the mastery of those lessons at each of those levels forward. You understand what I'm saying? The English wasn't there, but you understand what I'm saying. The lessons of 9, once are there, or I should say, the lessons of 1, once they're completed, you can graduate to the 2 because you need everything at level 2 that you learned in the 1, in level 1, angel number 1. But when you think about these numbers 2 and 7, how they're really far away, what is the 7 all about? It's about your transcendence, it's your spiritual awakening, it's your soul's evolution. All of these angel numbers are about you perceiving differently. They're trying to help you. If you can imagine a kaleidoscope, this is really trippy, but if you can imagine a kaleidoscope, each of the different pieces, the way they fit together, when you're standing in one piece, you see everything a certain way. That's one angel number. That might lead you to taking steps to this one over here. So you go stand over here there, and but you're still looking around to get the whole picture. Everything's still what it is. It's still all that is, but you're looking at it from a different lens. From the through the lens of different lessons mastered. And at some point, you get through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and you get to the 9, where you're going to understand how everything in this whole chapter played out and came together. What was the core of what you needed to learn in this season? Because once you get the picture and it all clicks, the 9s start to come around. You might start seeing 10, 10 as well to show you, okay, now it's the time for testing. Did you really understand this? The 9 as karmic completion shows you how everything plays into that. Are you following? Is this making sense? Are you with me? Channeling some interesting frequencies coming through for you today. Let me know that you're with me. So I'm going to pause there before I start breaking down a little bit more how the 1827 all add into 999. I just need a little bit of my tea here. Cheers. Okay. So 1829, because the order of these numbers also makes a difference, right? Oh, I skipped 7, didn't I? Well, we'll get there. But 1829, it's also a reminder to you that learning lessons, and you've probably heard this so many times before, learning lessons is never a linear process. It's never just one thing fits exactly into the next. It's always, I don't understand. Why is this happening like this? I just lost my job. What the hell? My partner just broke up with me. What the hell? I suddenly have this wild inspiration to take a job overseas, and I actually got the interview and they offered me the role, so I'm just leaving my life, I'm going. All of these kinds of things, the unexpected. Some of you do not do so well with change. So spirit has to bring you a lot of very unexpected things to get you to open up and be comfortable a little bit more within that liminal space, that sense of, okay, I know I've understood how everything's happened up to now. Well, what the heck is next? If you can't see exactly what is next, exactly, Lisa, God's rejection is your protection. And sometimes it's not rejection, it's just redirection to something that's a heck of a lot better for you, which is also what? Protection. See it how you want to see it. You choose the way the story is written. What serves you? I think a lot of your lessons this season, especially considering yesterday's eclipse, have been around accepting your sovereignty, accepting your individuality without intentionally shrinking it for the sake of whatever, whatever. 10:10 on my clock. So 11827, coming back to the 9. You're learning how to understand your simultaneous oneness and perceived separation with all that is, with source. By it's like you're navigating the layers. And with the 2 and 7, you're starting to it's starting to gain traction. You're starting to get proof that these different layers exist, first of all. But second, that you are able to synthesize all of these things you're learning at different stages of this season, all of the different perspectives of this lesson that spirit has been tagging onto it. It feels like tagging onto it. All for the sake of your true mastery. All for the sake of your true mastery. Again, whatever this is going to be unique to you in whatever time and space you're finding this message. The fact that the nines all break down to a 9, what other angel number does that? Threes and sixes have a nice interplay, so you might be seeing 369, 639, 936, 963, any sort of combination of threes, sixes, and nines. That is also an indication of your quantum shift. Again, graduating from seeing everything through the different lenses in this kaleidoscope to say, it's all clicking, it all makes sense, to then be brought to the next level. But what does that mean also? This is a time of an incredible sense of confidence and pride. And I know some of you are just like, Julia, what on earth are you talking about? Everything in my life just fell apart because I set the boundary like spirit told me to. Everything in my life is falling apart because I asked for this, but they gave me that. Everything in my life is falling apart because of blah, 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 blah. Well, if you are finding that things are changing because you're learning things, it's because those things are no longer needed to teach you the lessons that you were supposed to learn. It means you learned the lesson. And so you've been asking to be brought to the next level. You've been asking for validation that you've been passing these spiritual exams. The fact that your life is changing is confirmation. Mary Penny, you said this message is stretching your brain. Yes. Yes, it is. That's the whole point of 999. Stretching and expanding your capacity to hold space for your individuality, your interconnectedness with all that is, your ability to co-create and coexist in partnership with other humans, other beings and spirit, as well as your your mastery of self. The 7 is also the mastery of the self because the true self, soul, is what's tapped in and tuned into everything else. You're eliminating barriers to the integration and expansion of all of this understanding. So yeah, I know some of you are like, whoa, this energy is so heady. Well, that's why the energy activation, if you caught me from the beginning, was for your third eye and for your crown, so that this could really sink in. I know what I'm doing. So why does this have to do with confidence? And certain things are falling apart, certain things are being separated. Certain you might be separated from people. Why is this happening? Because confidence is not dependent. Confidence is not codependent. Confidence is an inspiration of self coming from an inner place. It is inwardly focused. And what you've been setting a lot of boundaries around is maybe the way you let people talk to you, the way you let people treat you, the kinds of workplaces or this does feel really people based, which is interesting because this isn't I should say connection based because this doesn't really have too much relationship energy in it on the surface. I mean, it's kind of there with the twos, but that's more, well, there it is, the power play that we were talking about yesterday, right? Because you're starting to understand that you generate your own light, you know where that comes from. You know how to tune back into it, you know how to tend to your own flame because you know what energy and efforting goes into protecting that and nourishing that. Your inspiration, your passion, your willingness to whatever it is. The boundaries that you've been setting in all dimensions have been about speaking up, all of the throat chakra activations, trusting in the visions and the downloads that you've been getting for the things that you want to do while you're here, while releasing the expectation that it always has to be exactly how you first see it, or that you just will take 3 steps and then you'll get there. Earth schools, we're time bound for a reason, all right? Part of the 9 is learning that because or the 999 is learning that because that's encoded in the 7. It's trusting in the timing of things. That knowing while you're making all of this spiritual advancement, sometimes it's going to take time to play out on the 3D. But if you've gotten to enough advancement in one particular thing, and spirit's like, your guys are like, creator's like, I think they're ready. But we have to let them say that they're ready. God, if they're ready, let them say that they're ready and we'll make things happen. You asked for change. Here it is. That only came because you actually learned what you needed to know. And because you're confident, you don't have the ability to tolerate things that drain you because you've been setting boundaries around things that drain you. Ways of being, conversations, even your own habits, your own self-talk. However this applies to you, because there's many of you that will find this message, so it's going to apply to each of you differently. I'm going to pause right there. Does anyone have any questions about the 999? Then we're going to take this in a different direction, I feel. Get some more tea. No questions about 999? What's that got to do with the portal? Did someone actually ask that, or are my guides feeding me? Yes, Ari, because that's the next step. That's a great question. So, why are you seeing 911? Why are you seeing 911? Well, the 999 is the completion, but 11 by itself is a master number. So, in numerology, you have numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0, but you have numbers 11, 22, 33. Some people don't consider 44, 55, 56, 44, 55, 60. You understand. Most people don't consider it past 33. I think that depends on your own experience. I generally consider 44, but not 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 911 is all it's like, yeah, well, did you learn? Because are you ready? Are you It's like, yes, you completed things, but are you actually ready to take action towards what's next? There are a lot of meanings for 911, some of them a little bit more fear-based and fear-invoking. You know I'm not about that. I'm here to keep it real. If there's something that we gotta debunk or demystify, then we will do that. But this number is really meant to say, okay, you've completed the knowledge and you've mastered the knowledge and you've taken some tests. Now is the mastery part where you're putting everything that you learned into the new level. It's like with the kaleidoscope example. If you're going with the kaleidoscope example, you're you're going to be okay, hold on. They're giving me a little more here. I want to say I'm hearing that, and I want to say that it's like the master teacher, right? Oh. Okay. So a master number is not always a teacher. Actually, 33 is a really spiritual number. I don't know why I feel like I want to say that Jesus's life path was 11 or something about Jesus's teachings being in angel number 11. He just feels like a very strong embodiment of that energy. I don't know why, that's just what's coming through, so take that if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. So, it's also a reminder to continue your protection while you're focusing on, well, see, he passed when he was 33, right? But I think his life path energetically, he embodied the number 11. He really did. But 911 is also a reminder that when you're completing these lessons, you need to be making sure that your protection is strong. Again, I don't like to give fear-based messages. I just want you to keep it real. Keep it real. If you're not paying attention to darkish things, then that's okay. But you have to just remember that just because you're not paying attention to it doesn't mean that it's not real and happening. Lune, welcome. So keep your protection strong right now. Cleansing your space, cleansing your aura, cutting ties, doing your black candles, whatever it is you got to do. Whatever it is that resonates with you. If that's praying to Archangel Michael, if it's telling your guides to create shields for you and you set intentions with that. Well, naturally, you're powerful, you're completing a lot of lessons. You're high vibrational. There's a lot of stuff that would like to go with you and work through you. So you got to make sure your shields are up. That's why you learned confidence so you know who you are, you know what your instincts are saying, and you're not in this game anymore to make other people comfortable. All right. It's not about the comfort. God didn't make you comfortable. You did not learn by being comfortable. I said what I said. Okay. Again, you don't have to get freaked out. You literally don't need to be freaked out. I can feel the energy shift when I said that. I say this because I need you to remember that your protection is necessary. That encompasses your grounding and your shielding work. What does a shield look like? If you're not one for visuals, you can be one for prayers. Give it to God, give it to your guides. Hey, fam. Hey, spirit. Shield me energetically and physically. Protect me energetically and physically. You can add your own intentions after that, but does it have to be more than that? No. This is not a replacement for cleansing. Let me be clear. Your Okay, fine. They're saying we're going to talk about it more on the 9/11 portal, but we'll get there. I just have to say, this last comment here, your shielding is not a replacement for your cleansing. Those of you who have Reiki attunements, you use prayer candles, you use sage and you smudge yourself. You use a selenite knife and you cut cords. Whatever it is that you do, that is part of your cleansing. That is not something that you can just like, oh yeah, I'll just do it tomorrow or I'll just do it next week. No, not when you're sensitive, not when you're empathic. I'm just saying because I've learned the hard way, as I know you all have, and I like to spare you from that where I can. Okay. So focus on what you need to do. Focus on what you need to do. Get grounded, get your shields up, get your guides on your shields, and God bless God. Do your cleansing. Okay? That's also been part of this that's also been part of this lesson because when you're around people or in places or situations that are really draining to you, that's it's quite literally sucking the life out of you. Okay? No more slacking. Get on it. Get on it. And always do more than you think you need to do until your guides say, yo, you got it. Like you've cleansed yourself, your space, your home, your land, whatever hardcore. If you need help with that, you need to book with me because my guides will give you my guides, yes, but also your guides will tell me exactly what you need. The same things that work for someone that is more clairsentient might not work the same way for someone who's heavily clairvoyant, someone who's empathic and really tunes into the way people feel physically. I want to say empathic. That's a little bit different than someone who's more just claircognizant. Okay? The things that you need to set intentions for might be a little bit different. They might be unique, as they should be, because you are special, you are unique. Okay? You need to make sure that you are cutting ties and you're not letting anything stay in your space past its expiration date. Someone here needing to clean out the fridge? That's a metaphor, but also a message. Okay, where were we, Spirit? Is there anything else you'd like to say on this? Being very intentional with your frame of mind, right? You can't you can't honestly believe. I'm telling you what you can't do, okay? And what you can't do is let yourself believe that this stuff is stronger than you cuz it's not. It takes a lot of that and one of you, okay? The belief that it is more powerful, these negativities are more powerful than you is just an illusion. They have to scream loudly so you cower in fear. But really, they're like mice. It's like mice to an elephant. You are the elephant. You might be seeing elephants as confirmation of that message for you, okay? Your fear is nothing in the face of who you are becoming. Yep, deep clean, deep cleansing, deep cleansing. Well, because we just had a full moon eclipse, right? That said, okay, we had all the change. Now physically push it out of your space. hmm If you're an elephant, you're not afraid of a mouse. You just go, oh, mouse, I'm going to go that way. Or you just don't even see it and it goes squash. But probably that doesn't happen. This is where your confidence is also coming into play, right? Knowing that you carry yourself and maintain yourself energetically in such a way that you're always protected. This is why consistency is so important, because the results speak for themselves. Consistency in your grounding, cleansing, and shielding. Okay? Cheers. Okay, they're wanting me to pivot. What else, Spirit? They're wanting you to be excited for all of the realizations that you've had, for all of the breakthroughs emotionally and materially, like physically, that you've had. Sometimes Spirit has to kind of have you lay low so your whole physical reality can recalibrate. But it's also important not to let that perpetuate longer than it needs to. When you're remaining optimistic and oriented in such a way that, yes, wow, my whole life is changing because I asked for this and I learned the lessons. Yay, I can take some time to just energetically reset and be with myself. Because there's a lot more for you to do in this next season than you think. A lot more than you can see right now. And again, that's why the third eye activations, you're going to start to see that things are opening up for you in a very consistent way. A very consistent way. Because this, I remember talking about this months ago, that you were starting to master. I think this might have been 2 or 3 months ago. You were starting to master. Oh, sorry, I just had a realization about something else irrelevant. Okay. But I remember talking about a 3 or 4, no, it was probably 3 months ago, that you were starting to master lessons around your self-worth, perceiving your value. And because you started to energetically click things into place, mentally click things into place, your circumstances had to produce opportunities for you to say, act, or yeah, take action, speak the thing that validates to your guides, your spirit team, that yes, you've learned the lesson and you can move on, your life can shift. When you think about it like a school, it really is like that. Earth school is really like that. Hmm. So I feel like we're reaching the end here. I feel like there might be one more message coming through about why the eclipse energy is important here. Ah, darkness, I'm hearing darkness cannot and will not ever take the place of light. And I want you to meditate on that. Darkness cannot and will not ever take the place of light. It's not just rewiring the mind, it's rewiring your body. Your body is an extension of your mind, both of which are a manifestation of your soul's urges for learning in this life. Part of your confidence comes from being in your body. You can't be confident about who you are when you don't even know who you are. And if you don't know who you are, it's because you're not in your body yet. And please be patient with that, because that is a very carefully planned and executed path. I just want to say, for the light worker, because your frequencies are new here to this planet. And you're powerful enough that things could change too quickly at a larger scale before the mass consciousness was ready, that would not help the mass consciousness evolve the way it's meant to. But a lot of this is being resolved. So a lot of past issues are being resolved. So you're going to start to understand and notice that you're starting to become more aware of yourself physically. A lot of your completions, the 999, your completions are not just about your confidence. It's about knowing who you are, knowing what you deserve, and having the confidence and well, yeah, and having the confidence, but it's more like a guarantee. It's like you're going from this place of, I have this intention, is it gonna happen? But I'm starting to see things start to play out. Okay, maybe it's coming to a belief now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I'm starting to see that, but now it's like, oh, shoot, like spirit really said, and now it's really happening. It's like your intentions become guarantees. Ooh, that's powerful. But that only happens when the belief is there. And how does the belief get there? Yes, by seeing, but also by knowing that every other time that you've had an intention manifest in reality, every time you believed or saw something and you acted it out, it became your reality. So now that you believe what's coming, you're going to see it. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave that there. That feels like the place to stop. And that's exactly how the eclipse energy ties into this, because it was all about you coming back to your body. This season has been about you coming back to your body. And now that you are understanding who you are, the things that you want aren't just ideas, they're promises, they're guarantees. If you would just have the patience, if you would just have the patience to enjoy the ride, to enjoy the process, there's no telling what you couldn't do. And that's the message. All right. I love you all so, 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 so much. And I will see you in the next one. You're so welcome. I'm happy it resonated, Mary Penny. And also, you guys, if I do know your name and you have a different name here, I just say the name that's here, even though I know your name. Okay? You're so welcome, family. Okay, quick announcement. If you want to book a psychic reading, you can book that with me. If you want to book a Reiki energy healing session, you can also book that with me. The link's in the description box below. Yeah, Cynthia. Yes, listen to it again and yesterday's. All in divine timing, right? Sometimes you do need to listen to these things more than once, because you need to have the ability to integrate deeper connections. Okay? I love you all so, 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 so much. And I will see you very soon It could be very spontaneous. I have no idea when. So I will see you when I see you. Bye, everyone. Have a good night or day or morning, whenever you are, wherever you are. Till the next one.